Welcome, short weekend episode. Dr. James Beckett, Sports Card Insights, here to talk about NBA playoffs that haven't started yet. And so I've always wanted to do this. I'm going to go on the record and say what I think is going to happen. But thanks sponsors, Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, Heritage Auctions, Huggins Scott Auctions, Mike Stadium Sports Cards, Burbank Sports Cards, ComC.com, as well as Beckett Media, Beckett Grading, Beckett Authentication. I get these email alerts and things that come, and I actually subscribe to Sports Illustrated and ESPN, or have, and they both have a list of the top 25 players that are in the bubble, in the NBA bubble down at Disney World. And they have surprising agreement, which maybe shouldn't be such a big shock when realized that some of these really, that LeBron James is number one, and then they disagree on Giannis and Kawhi being 2 or 3. And both of them have James Harden as 4. Both have Anthony Davis at 5. Nikola Jokic is either 6 or number 9. Luka is 7 in both, which is probably okay for his age. Paul George is 8th in both. Great two-way talent. Dame Lillard is 9th and 11th. Sounds pretty reasonable. Joel Embiid, 10 in one and 6 in the other. That reflects the fact that I think Joel Embiid can take it to another level. Possibly. Russell Westbrook, 11 and 12. He surprised me with his durability. Jimmy Butler, 10 and 12. Jason Tatum, 13th in both. I don't think that's unlucky. I think he's probably emerging, as many collectors know. Pascal Siakam, 14th in both. Ben Simmons, 16th and 15th, would be in the top 5 if he could shoot. Donovan Mitchell, 16 and 17. Chris Paul, 17 and 15. Rudy Gobert, 18 in both. Kemba Walker, 19 and 20. Kyle Lowry, 20 and 19. Chris Middleton, 21 and 17. Kristaps Porzingis, 24 in both. And Zion, 25 and 23. Jaylen Brown, Bam Adebayo, CJ McCollum, and let's see, Jaylen Brown also were in one, but not the other. Again, Zion probably down because I think he's not one. He's going to be 8 and done, not 1 and done. If he's even squared away and stays healthy and is back in the bubble, he will be. It's a very tough road for the Pelicans to even make the playoffs. So you should know, if you don't already, that even though when these playoff performances are very strong, the pricing, with the hobby being so strong, a lot of that is already baked into the prices of these, especially the recognized superstars. And they talk about an asterisk this year, but even a title with an asterisk is still worth something. Of those 25 guys that ESPN and Sports Illustrated dealt with, there's no more than 2 on a team that met with both groups in the top. Actually, the Celtics had 3 if you combine. But really, if you just take the top 2, LeBron and Anthony Davis, I think, are number 1 of the duos, and then Kawhi and Paul George. And then there's a drop-off. But of the others, Luka and Kristaps Porzingis, as well as Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, there's some possibility. If Ben Simmons has been practicing his shot for the last 4 months, and the problem with Ben Simmons practicing, practice does not make perfect, as those who play golf know. Perfect practice makes a better chance at perfect. But Ben Simmons' shooting form is so poor that he could practice all he wants. Unless he changes his form, he's never going to be a good shooter. And I think that's pretty established. The problem is unlearning a habit is way tougher than learning a habit. So if he's been practicing, I'm not sure that's going to help if he's been practicing, reinforcing his poor form. So what have the players been doing these last 4 months? I'm sure they're working on their ball skills. They're doing conditioning. They're taking a bunch of unguarded, uncontested 3-pointers, and they're probably working on their dunking form. But when you're playing on strange courts and without fans, my guess is the shooting percentage is going to go down. And plus a hand in your face, especially in the fourth quarter, because there's just no substitute for constantly playing. Although, there may be a factor where age is not a problem, but the younger players may be better. So at the risk of being accused of being a homer, I grew up listening to Bob Prince, who was he invented the homer concept among Major League Baseball announcers. So I don't see anything wrong with rooting for the home team, even if you're paid to do so. But again, there'll be those who disagree. But I think that Luka and the Mavs are poised to make a run. Basically, they're a terrific road team. All the games are going to be on the road. You could check that out. They have a great offense, and it may even be better if Porzingis is completely healthy. They have excellent coaching, lots of unselfish role players, and we'll see. They've got a very tough road. The biggest thing that I haven't heard being talked about enough is that the officials are going to be a big part of the asterisk. If they call it strict, if they call it tight game, again, we're talking about socially distanced defense. If that happens, which isn't going to happen, but if defense is tight and they call it tight, then I think that's going to help. That's going to help Luka. because so far he's been treated like a rookie. He's fended well for himself, but these veteran superstars like LeBron and James Harden, they seemingly always get the calls that Luka doesn't get. And Rick Carlisle's been making a big deal about that. But on the other hand, Luka's used to it. So whether it's tight calling or loose calling, the players have to play. But I'm well aware that it'd be fitting poetic justice considering the 2006 finals that I attended all those games where the Mavs lost against Dwayne Wade and the Heat in exactly the scenario of officials playing a big part. The Mavs went up 2-0 in the finals. They were all set for champagne. In fact, our headquarters building on the Dallas North Toll Road put a very prominent banner on the side of our building that everyone could see going up and down the tollway with a countdown, not a clock, but a countdown, huge numbers. They got 2 games left, and it never happened. I'm sure we didn't jinx the Mavs, but the refs, there was a lot of buzz about the refs that they called it, tight on the Mavs. So many fouls on Dwayne Wade. But there are conspiracy theories about that, but I'm not going there. Where I'm going is that Dwayne Wade got superstar treatment. Dirk Nowitzki was the Mavs star, but he wasn't as much of an offensive slasher. So some of that free throw disparity can be explained. On the other hand, Luka lives in the paint. He's got a move where he can beat his man and get in for either a dunk, a layup, or his great floater, or kick it out for the open three. And again, I think the Mavs have the best offense statistically in NBA history. If Luka gets the calls, if it frankly just needs to get the Dwayne Wade treatment, then they have a good chance. On the other hand, very hard to bet against LeBron, who's accompanied now by Anthony Davis, who was one of the most dominant college players I've seen in a lifetime of watching college basketball. So here are my final predictions. I've got the Bucks over the Celtics in the East. I've got the Lakers over the Mavs in the West. And it's just hard to bet against LeBron and the Lakers. So they can be the best team this year, and I believe they will be when the time comes. Hard to bet against LeBron. After the last dance, he wants to prove, or at least get votes for being the GOAT, because he's got it on offense and on defense. He's great. He makes his teammates great. That was the last thing for Michael Jordan. Everybody knew he was great before he had all the championships, but could he elevate those around him? And he certainly did, as we saw. So enjoy watching, have fun with that, and I will enjoy with you.